all. Today's my topic is on qualification and validation of the pharmaceutical quality system ICHQ10. Okay, then we will start our introduction part. The validation is on the essential part of GMP and an element of the quality assurance. The basic principles are include the safety, quality and efficacy of the products built into the as it cannot be inspected or tested a product. Critical steps in the process need to be validated. Need for the confidence that the product will be consistently meet and then we will meet the predetermined specification and attributes. The documentation and associated with the validations are the SOPs, specifications, validations, and then the master plan, and then qualification of protocols, and then reports, and then finally we validate the protocol and then reports. So okay, we all could be decided. Then we will move to the qualification and then validation. The qualification and validations are the essentially components of the same concept, and then the term qualification is normally used for the equipment methods and the utilities and then systems. The term validation is normally used for the purposes and then process of the validation of the procedures. In this sense, qualification is the part of the validations. Validation is the approaches to the validation. Two basic approaches are in the validation: evidence obtained through the testing, prospective and the concurrent validation, and then second we good analysis of the accumulated historical data and retrospective validation. Whenever possible, the prospective validation is preferred. Retrospective validation is no longer encouraged. Retrospective validation is not applicable to the sterile products. And then scope of validation, all should be contain the scope, and then the validation it must to be the scope. So the validation requires on the appropriate and the sufficient including other organization, documentation, personnel and the finances, involvement of management and the quality assurance of the personnel. The personnel with the appropriate qualifications and the experience, extensive preparation and the planning before the validation is performed. A specific program for validation activities in the place of the validation is done in the structured way according to the documentations including in the procedures and the protocols. Qualification is must be all of the product. So qualification is must important in the all of the industries of the pharmaceutical or other than industries are must for the qualification. So the qualification should be completed before the process of the validation is performed. A logical systematic process followed. Then we'll start from the design phase of the premises, equipment, utilities and the equipment. Major equipment and the critical utilities are the systems normally require the IQ and OQ and the PQ, and some equipment and systems are required only for the IQ, industrial quality, and the OQ as the correct operation could be considered to be a sufficient indicator of its performance. So the main equipment, utility and the system should then be maintained, monitored and calibrated according to the regular schedule. Then we will move to on the documentations verification. Documentation should be the validation of the master plan and the protocols and the reports and the SOPs and then others. The validations of the master plan to contain the key element of the validation of the program consists the clear contain at least a validation policy, structure of the validation activities, summary of the facility systems, equipment and the processes validated and to be the validated, documentation format, example protocol and then report, planning and scheduling, change control and reference to exiting documents. And then qualification stages are then 4 stages: design qualification, installation qualification, operational qualification, performance qualification. All SOPs for the operation, maintenance and calibration be prepared during the qualification, training provided and records maintained. And then design qualification provides the documented evidence that the design specification were met. Installation of the qualification provides the documented evidence that the installation was completed and satisfactory. During the ICO, the purchase of the specification drawings, manuals, spare parts and then list of the vendor details should be verified. Control and measuring the device should be calibrated. And then personnel. Demonstrate the personnel are appropriately qualified where relevant. Include, for example, laboratory analyzed personnel following the critical procedures for only personnel during the data entries, computerized systems and risk assessors. And then we will move to on the ICHQ10. So the ICHQ10, the quality assurance for the 10th, the introduction should be the ICHQ10 describing a model for on the effective pharmaceutical quality management system for the pharmaceutical industry. The guideline is based on ISO quality concepts, include the applicable for the GMP regulations. The ICHQ10 is a model for pharmaceutical quality system that can be implemented throughout the different stages of your product life cycle. The ICHQ10 is not intended to create any new expectations beyond the current regulatory requirements, and then consequently the content of the ICHQ10 that is additional to current GMP is optional. The objectives of the Q10 model should have the three main objectives that enhance the regional GMP requirements, achieve the product realization, establish and maintain the state of control, facilitate the continual improvement, achieve the product of the realization, to establish the implement to establish the implement and the maintain system that allows the delivery product with the quality appropriate to meet the needs and then of the patients and the other stakeholders, health professionals and regulatory authorities and the other internal and external customers. And then establish and maintain a state control to develop and the use of the effective monitoring and the control system for the process performance and the product quality, thereby providing the assurance of the continued suitability and capability of the process. Quality risk management can be useful in identifying the monitoring and the control system to the facility of the continual improvement to identify and implement appropriate product, the quality improvements process, improvements variability reduction of the innovation and the pharmaceutical quality systems to enhance thereby increasing the ability of the fulfill quality needs. Constantly risk management can be useful for identifying and prioritizing areas for continual improvement. And then scope of the ICHQ10 of the pharmaceutical drug substance development, the formulation of the development including the container or the closure system, the manufacture of the investigational product and the delivery system developed, manufacturing the process developed and scale up the analytical method development, technology transfer, new product transfer during the development through the manufacturing, transfers within or between the manufacturing and testing sites for the marketed products, commercial manufacturing or the acquisition and the control of the materials, provision of the facilities, utilities and the equipment, and then production including the packaging and the labeling of the quality control assurance, release and the distribution of the excluding the wholesaler activities or the storage, product discontinuation or the retention of the documentation and the sample retention, continued product assessment and reporting. And then relationship of the ICHQ10 to the regional GMF requirements, ISO standards and the ICHQ7, the regional GMP requirements, the ICHQ7 guideline are the good manufacturing practice guide for active pharmaceutical ingredients, and ISO quality management system guidelines form the foundation for ICHQ10. The ICHQ10 provides the harmonized model for a pharmaceutical quality system throughout the life cycle of your product, and its intended to be used together in the regional GMP requirements and then continual improvement of the pharmaceutical quality system. This section of describes the activities that should be conducted to manage and continually improve the pharmaceutical quality system. Management review of the pharmaceutical quality system, the monitoring of the internal and the external factors impacting the pharmaceutical quality system, outcomes of the management review and the monitoring. Move to one conclusion. CHQ10 is an ISO systems approach to the GMP. It is not additional to the GMP but the integral to the GMP, covers full life cycle of your product. Its main objectives are the product realization, control and improvement, demands the management team to lead the quality system which products, public health in the respect of product life cycle. Okay, thank you all.